Last year, I thought I was just some regular dude. Single dad mid-40s living in a small-ass town in Colorado. Had a steady gig as principal of the local high school. Nothing flashy, just showing up, doing the job, and coming home to my daughter Lila. 16. Smart as hell. Independent. Sharp-tongued like her mom, but softer inside, at least I thought. We had a rhythm, her and me. Fridays were movie nights. Saturdays we'd argue over pancakes or waffles. I still helped her with science homework even though I was absolute trash at it. That's what being a dad looked like to me, just being there. Showing up. Not screwing off like my old man did. Anyway, things were good, or felt good. Then she brought Eva home. Eva, 17, from California. This exchange program scholarship student with high grades and fake humility. I remember thinking, damn, this kid's too polished to be real. She had this way of acting super grateful, but with a side of knowing smirks. Lila adored her, though. Said they clicked on day one, shared playlists, inside jokes, did their nails together. That whole teen sisterhood thing. So when Lila asked if Eva could crash at our place now, and then I said sure. Of course. My house wasn't fancy, but it was safe. I had a guest room. We stocked extra frozen pizzas. No big deal. First few weekends, chill. Girls giggling into the night, whispering like they were plotting to take over the world. I'd throw them some snacks, crack a dad joke, and leave them be. I wasn't trying to be cool dad. I just wanted to give Lila a space where she felt she could be herself. God, I had no idea that space would become my own damn trap. Then came that night. It was just past midnight. We'd watched a stupid horror movie that I fake laughed through. They demolished 2 pepperoni pizzas, and I figured they'd be up for hours. I crashed early, tired from a week of endless school board meetings and a broken copy machine. I woke up needing to piss. Bathrooms just past the hallway. No lights on. Dead quiet. I'm walking back, scratching my head, ready to faceplant back into bed, when I see Eva just standing there. Not scared, not sleepy, just there. Frozen. She's wearing this oversized hoodie, barefoot, arms crossed, staring at me like she's waiting for something. I squint. Hey, you good, bathroom's free. She doesn't say anything, just takes a step forward. Then another. And then she reaches for me. No warning, no hesitation, just full-on leans in like she's gonna kiss me. I swear to God, I froze. Like, what the actual fuck is happening right now? This is my daughter's friend. A kid. In my hallway. Middle of the night. Trying to kiss me. I took a step back, put my hands up like she was pointing a damn gun at me. Whoa. Nope. You got the wrong idea, I said, trying to laugh it off because my brain was glitching. I'm your friend's dad, that's all I am. She blinked like she just came back to earth, muttered something like sorry, barely audible, and turned around. Went straight back into Lila's room like nothing happened. I stood there stunned. Then I did what I always do when I don't know what else to do. I minimized it. Told myself it was late. Teenagers do weird stuff. Hormones. Misreading signals. No harm done, right? Jesus, I was so fucking wrong. 3 days later, I got called into the station. I thought maybe someone from the school filed a complaint we'd had a fight in the staff room over budget cuts. Or maybe a student got caught vaping again, and they wanted to loop me in. But the second I walked into that sterile interrogation room, I felt it. It wasn't a meeting. It was a fucking setup. Detective sits across from me. No coffee. No small talk. Just that cop look like he already thinks he knows who you are. He says Eva's filed a report. She told them I assaulted her that night. In my home. I laugh. I mean, literally, I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it felt like my brain cracked. Wait, what, are you serious? He didn't laugh back. Then came the questions. Where was I standing? Did I touch her? Why did I let a teenage girl stay over in the first place? They tore into me like I was some predator hiding behind a suburban dad costume. I told them the truth. Every detail. Every awkward second of that hallway encounter. That I backed away. That I shut it down. But it didn't matter. They weren't listening for truth. They were waiting for me to slip. Want to know the worst part? They asked me why would she lie? And I had no answer. Because I didn't know. Not then. 2 days after that, Lila blocked me. No text, no call, no conversation. Just one post on Instagram, believe victims. Always. That's it. No name, no context, but enough. Everyone who knew us, neighbors, coworkers, PTA moms, they all knew who she meant. I didn't sleep for 48 hours. Tried calling, nothing. Drove to my ex's house. She wouldn't even let me pass the porch. Her brother came outside like he'd been waiting to swing. One punch square to my jaw. I didn't swing back. Didn't even speak. I just sat there on the ground, bleeding from the lips, staring up at the woman I once loved, the mother of my kid. The one person who should have known me better than this. But her eyes, they said it all. She believed it too. That's when everything cracked. My job put me on leave. Board members stopped replying. Friends who used to send dumb memes every morning, radio silence. I became that guy. The whispered about, avoided, ghosted version of myself. And the worst part, I still didn't hate Eva. I didn't even hate Lila. I just didn't understand how the people I gave everything to could walk away so damn fast. That week felt like free fall. One second I was brushing my teeth, thinking about what groceries I needed to grab. Next thing I know, I'm sitting in a police station being treated like I'd been caught red-handed, like there was already a cell with my name on it. They called me in twice that week. Twice. Same questions. Same suspicious stares. Same notes scribbled while they tried to catch me contradicting myself. I told them again and again I woke up. I used the bathroom. She was in the hall. She made a move. I said no. That's it. That was it. But they just kept circling like sharks smelling blood in the water. And meanwhile, my own fucking daughter was still nowhere to be found. No calls, no replies, no "hey, this doesn't sound like you dad" conversation. Nothing. I couldn't wrap my head around how quick she'd turned. Like there was no hesitation, no ounce of doubt in her. Just one post. One fucking line and I was dead to her. And let me be clear, it's not like I was some absent dad. I was there. Always. School drop-offs when her mom couldn't wake up. Late-night ramen during finals week. Listening to her rants about how no one understood her taste in music. I was her safe place. But the second things got messy, I wasn't a dad anymore. I was a headline. 3 days later, the school district called. I wasn't fired, not yet, but they were reviewing my status. Whatever the hell that meant. I knew what it meant. It meant everyone was scared to touch me now. I showed up for a meeting with the superintendent and the air in that room thick with judgment. Like I'd already been convicted. They said, due to the nature of the allegations, we're putting you on administrative leave. Without pay. I laughed. Actually laughed. Wow, no one's even asked if I'm okay. They blinked at me like I was speaking in Morse code. Alex, one of them, said, this isn't about how you feel. Right. Of course not. It's never about how the accused feels. Doesn't matter that I had no history. No sketchy record, no complaints in 20 years of working around teens. All it took was one girl, one lie, and boom, I was radioactive. And then came the comments. I hadn't even looked at Lila's post again. Couldn't bring myself to. But people sent screenshots anyway. Brave girl, sending love to you and your friend. Hope he rots. They didn't say my name, but they didn't have to. In this town, you could sneeze wrong and it'd end up on Facebook. I started getting looks at the gas station. People crossed the street when I walked my dog. One lady I used to carpool with pretended she didn't see me and peeled off like she was running from a bomb. And I just stood there holding a fucking bag of dog food, wondering how the hell my life got nuked overnight. The next week, my ex called. Not to check on me, not to ask for my side. She left a voicemail that said, "We need to protect our daughter. Don't come near the house again. Protect her. From me." The man who changed diapers and stayed up all night when she had the flu. The guy who built her a desk from scratch because she said IKEA was too basic. I wanted to scream, punch a wall, but I didn't. I just sat on the floor, lights off, phone on my chest, heart feeling like a sinkhole. And it just kept getting worse. That Friday, I got a call from a blocked number. Didn't answer. Voicemail came through. It was the detective again. "Alex, we need you to come in. There are inconsistencies in the statement. We just want to clarify a few things." My heart did that thing, you know, when it tries to escape your ribs. I went back in. Same tiny room. Same table, but something felt off. This time they were less aggressive, less smug. The guy across from me said, "We've spoken to Eva again. Some of her details aren't lining up." My throat tightened. Was this it, the turn? They didn't say much, but they looked uncertain now, like the foundation of their confidence had cracked. Turns out Eva had slipped. Timeline didn't match. Her story changed every time they asked. She forgot things she'd said in the original statement. And when they pushed her harder, she panicked. They didn't say she recanted not yet, but it was clear they didn't believe her like they had before. I left that station feeling something. Not hope exactly, but a twitch, a shift in the wind. Still no one apologized. No one said maybe we jumped the gun. I was still guilty in everyone's eyes. I just wasn't in handcuffs yet. That night I sat down and wrote Lila a letter. Old school. Pen and paper. Because texts weren't doing shit. I poured my heart into it. Told her what happened. Told her the truth that I would never ever hurt someone, especially not someone she cared about. Told her I loved her. That I still did, even though she'd thrown me to the wolves. I never got a reply. Instead, a few days later, she posted another story. Black background. White text. Just because someone's family doesn't mean they're safe. I was done. You want to know the real kicker? Turns out Eva had her own trauma. Months later, after everything blew up, I found out she'd been assaulted, but not by me. By her mother's boyfriend back in LA. She didn't tell anyone, didn't feel safe, didn't want to blow up her family. So instead, she pointed the finger at me, the quiet, harmless dad, the safe one to accuse. And that's when it hit me. I was her human shield. I got destroyed because I looked like someone no one would fight for. Someone who wouldn't fight back. Well, she fucked up. I started documenting everything. Screenshots, emails, logs of every conversation with police, the school, and lawyers. I wasn't going to scream on Facebook like a maniac. I wasn't going to beg for attention. I was going to burn it all down. Quietly. Efficiently. Screw redemption arcs. This wasn't about forgiveness anymore. This was war. Couple of weeks after that last call with the cops, I finally got the official word the case was dropped. Closed. Done. They said there wasn't enough to move forward, which is legalese for, yeah, we fucked up, but we're not saying it. Eva folded. She broke down under pressure, admitted it wasn't me. Admitted she lied because she was scared of what really happened to her. Her mother's boyfriend, the actual monster, was the one who'd hurt her back home. But she didn't know how to say it. Couldn't face him. So she pointed the blame at someone safer. Me. And that's the part that kills me. She chose me not because I was guilty, but because I was easy to destroy. Because I had no power to fight back in the moment. I walked out of that station legally cleared, but everything around me still in fucking ashes. People didn't rush to hug me. No one said, "Wow, we're so sorry we doubted you." There were no social media apologies. No public retractions. Just silence. And silence hurts worse than hate sometimes. At least hate means they care enough to react. The worst part, Lila didn't call. Didn't text. Didn't unblock me. Nothing. Just like before, she ghosted. Even after the truth came out, she didn't run to fix it. No apology. No, I messed up. Just continued radio silence from the girl I'd practically raised on my own. I didn't know what to feel anymore. Relief, rage, numbness. So I sat on my porch with a cheap bottle of whiskey and thought about every person who'd vanished the second things got hard. The friends who disappeared. The neighbors who averted their eyes. The coworkers who never called back. All of them. Poof. Gone. Turns out your whole life can fall apart in weeks. All it takes is one lie, one scared girl, and a cowardly crowd. And then, as if on cue, she showed up. Lila. Unannounced. Just knocked on my door around 7:30 p.m. hoodie on eyes red. I didn't open it right away. Hell, I didn't even stand up. I just sat there watching her silhouette through the frosted glass. She knocked again. "Dad, please." And my whole body went stiff. Because as much as I dreamed of hearing that voice again, I also wanted to scream at her. Ask her where the hell she was when I needed her. Why she tossed me to the wolves without even asking for my side. She waited there for maybe 5 minutes. Said some things. Said she was sorry. That she wanted to explain. But I couldn't move. Couldn't speak. I just sat there holding the armrest like it was a lifeline. Eventually, she left. And I cried. Not the loud, dramatic kind, Just that silent, steady leak you don't even realize is happening until your shirt's soaked and your jaw hurts from clenching too hard. Next day, she sent a voicemail. Same apology. Same regret. Same I didn't know what to believe. She said Eva finally came clean to her, told her everything, told her she was sorry. Lila said she felt like she couldn't breathe, knowing she believed a lie. She said she hated herself for how fast she turned against me. Cool. But I wasn't ready to hand her a forgiveness card just because she realized the truth late. This wasn't a missed curfew. This was weeks of abandonment, humiliation, legal hell. I sent one text, I need time. Don't reach out for a while. She read it. Didn't reply. And for once, that was enough. A week later, the vultures circled back. You know, the people who were too busy to call when my name was being dragged. My mom, my sister, even my fucking ex-wife. All of them suddenly remembered my number. My sister texted some Hallmark shit like, so glad things are finally settled, let's heal. My ex said we needed to talk as a family. My mom straight up showed up at my door with banana bread like we were in a sitcom. I didn't answer. Let them all stand there and stew. Because where the hell were they when I was being spit on, when I was sleeping with my phone on my chest, waiting for my daughter to say, Dad, I believe you. Nah. Too little, too fucking late. That's when I got serious. Screw playing victim. Screw waiting for someone else to fix this. I started making a list. Not a kill list. I'm not a psycho. But a list of names. People who turned. Organizations that backed off. Co-workers who went silent. Board members who called for indefinite leave before asking questions. And then I started writing emails. Documenting conversations, archiving everything. I went full spreadsheet mode, started looking at timelines, connections, patterns in behavior. Not to go public with a vengeance rant, I'm not trying to be a damn YouTube docuseries, but I wanted receipts. In case anyone came for me again, in case I ever needed to burn someone's reputation the way they were ready to burn mine. And then something unexpected happened. I got an offer. Random email from a charter school 2 states over. They'd heard I was on hiatus and were interested in my leadership experience. They didn't mention the scandal. Didn't even ask. I stared at that email for an hour. Because holy shit, it was a way out. A clean slate. I could pack up, leave this town of backstabbers, start over somewhere people didn't whisper my name like it was a disease. The idea started growing like a weed in my chest. Freedom. Control. A chance to write my own story again. So I said, fuck it. Started prepping the house for sale. Listed furniture. Called a moving truck. Didn't tell anyone, not even Lila. I didn't owe them that. The day the sign went up in the yard, my mom called, sobbing. How can you just leave? You can't abandon your family. You'll regret this. No, Ma. I regret trusting people who flinched the second my name hit a whisper network. I regret thinking blood meant loyalty. I regret thinking I mattered to people who bailed when SHT got messy. I don't regret leaving. Not for a second. I left the town in silence. No goodbye party, no posts, no dramatic exit. Just boxes, a half-used gas card, and a road that stretched further than any of their opinions. Because I'm not interested in repairing a damn thing anymore. Not with them. Not after what they let happen. You want revenge. Sometimes it looks like fire and chaos. Other times it looks like peace. Peace they don't get to have. And damn, it felt good to take mine back. So I moved. Packed up what was left of my life, tossed it in the back of a rental truck, and drove across 3 states with nothing but old playlists and too much time to think. The new place, small town, cleaner air, nobody knew my name. No whispers, no side eyes, no memories. For the first time in months, I could walk into a grocery store and not feel like a fucking criminal just for existing. I took the job. Assistant principal at a charter school, decent salary. Small student body, real quiet campus. People were polite. Friendly, even. It was weird at first. Every time someone smiled at me, I thought, what's your angle? Anytime someone invited me to coffee, I figured they were testing me. That paranoia, it doesn't just vanish because you changed zip codes. It lives in your bones after something like that. 3 weeks into the job, a kid got caught vaping in the bathroom. I sat him down for the standard "we aren't mad, just disappointed" talk, and halfway through he said, "You look like someone who used to be angry." I blinked. "What?" He shrugged. "You're calm, but like too calm. Like someone who's been through some serious shit and decided not to care anymore." And damn, he wasn't wrong. I'd built this whole wall around me. Polite, efficient, friendly enough. But deep down, I didn't trust a single soul. Not the teachers, not the kids, not the barista who asked if I was new in town. Because I'd already seen how fast people flip. How quickly they'll leave you bleeding if it means protecting their own comfort. So yeah, I was too calm. I was fucking exhausted. Around the same time, I started getting emails from Lila again. At first, it was once a week, then every couple of days. Some were long emotional letters. Others just said, "I miss you." I didn't reply. Not because I didn't care, but because I still felt like I was walking around with glass in my chest. Every word from her made it twist deeper. She'd send photos. Her dog, a sunset she thought I'd like, a screenshot of her college acceptance. I read them all. Didn't answer a single one. Then one night, about 2 months after the move, she called. Didn't text first, didn't warn me. Just rang. I stared at the screen like it was a bomb. Didn't pick up. But she left a voicemail. "Hey. I know you're not ready and maybe you never will be, but I need to tell you something. Eva's gone." What? She kept talking. Apparently after Eva came clean, her home life exploded. Her mom didn't believe her at first. The boyfriend vanished. CPS got involved. It was a mess. A few weeks back, she ran away. And no one had seen her since. "She was fucked up, Dad," Lila said, voice shaking. "But she wasn't evil. I think she was just drowning." She paused, and I think I pushed her under even more. Click. I sat there in silence for a while, phone still glowing on the table. Eva. The girl who ruined my life. The girl who was hurting in ways no one saw. It's messed up, but I didn't feel rage when I heard she was gone. I felt empty. Not because I forgave her, but because deep down I always knew this wasn't about me. I was just a casualty in someone else's war. 2 days later, I wrote Lila back. First time in months. Didn't say much, just I heard the voicemail. "I'm sorry, I hope she's okay." She replied within minutes. "Can I call?" I hesitated, and then said yes. We talked for over an hour. Started stiff, awkward, like strangers catching up. Then it cracked open. She cried. I stayed mostly quiet. She told me about the guilt, the nightmares, the way she kept replaying that first week, wondering why she didn't even question the story. I didn't comfort her. Not because I didn't want to, but because I still wasn't sure she understood what it cost me. She said something that stuck, though. "I think I needed someone to blame too. Not just Eva. I was angry at you for not being perfect." Damn. I didn't even know how to respond. So I didn't. Just listened. A week later, she asked if she could visit. I said no. Told her I wasn't ready. She said she understood. Didn't guilt trip me. Didn't push. Just, "Okay, I'll wait." And that was the first real step toward anything that felt like healing. Meanwhile, the school year rolled on. I found a rhythm. Coffee at 6:30. Morning announcements. Paperwork. Check-ins. Detention duty. It was boring in the best way. Then came the board retreat. They took us to some mountain lodge thing. Team building seminars, overpriced buffet food. One night we did this vulnerability circle. Total HR crap. Everyone had to share a hard moment from their past. I was gonna pass. Play it safe. But something in me cracked. So I told them. Not everything, but the basics. Someone accused me of something that didn't happen. My whole life went up in flames. Silence. The counselor looked stunned. My boss just nodded, quietly. And someone, this science teacher I barely knew, said, "You're still standing." That's all I needed to hear. On the way back to town, he asked if I wanted to grab a beer sometime. I said, yeah. It wasn't much, but it was something. You ever rebuild something from scratch? Not the house, not the job. I mean you. Who you are after everyone you loved tossed you like garbage. That's the real work. You stare at the mirror and don't recognize the guy blinking back. But one day, maybe after you laughed at a dumb meme or made perfect scrambled eggs, something shifts. And you go, okay, I might actually be okay. I wasn't there yet, but I was close. Closer than I ever thought I'd get. And as much as I hated every second of what I went through, I wasn't gonna let it define the rest of my fucking life. So things were chill for a while. Work was steady, nights were quiet. I even started cooking again, real meals, not just microwave burritos and whiskey. I wouldn't say I was happy, but I wasn't haunted every second anymore, and that's gotta count for something. I kept my boundaries. Lila texted sometimes. Short, respectful. Stuff like, thinking of you or hope today wasn't too hard. I'd respond when I felt like it. Mostly I didn't. It wasn't about punishing her, I just didn't have it in me to fake something I wasn't ready to feel. Then came mid-October. Chilly evening leaves everywhere. I was halfway through an IPA and a rerun of some dumb cooking show when the doorbell rang. Nobody rings my doorbell. I checked the peephole. It was Lila. I stared at her through the glass. No warning, no text. Just her shivering on my porch in a hoodie and jeans, holding a reusable grocery bag like she was coming over for Sunday dinner. I opened the door but didn't say anything. She smiled, small, nervous. Hey, I brought dinner. I stepped aside, wordless. She walked in slow, like she was afraid the floor might give out. The bag had Tupperware. Real food. Stuff I used to cook when she was a kid. Chicken casserole. Roasted carrots. Her favorite cornbread muffins. That almost got me. We sat, we ate, mostly quiet. Halfway through the second muffin, she finally looked up and said, I know this doesn't fix anything. I nodded. Good. Pause. But I wanted to try. I don't want to just text into the void forever. I swallowed, took a breath. You said you didn't think someone could lie about something like that, I said finally. She froze. Yeah. You didn't even ask me. You just believed her. I know, she whispered. That nearly destroyed me. I know. No, you fucking don't. Her eyes welled up. I lost everything, Lila. You think a voicemail and muffins erases that? She was crying now. And for the first time, I didn't feel angry, just wrecked. Because yeah, I missed her, but I also didn't know if I'd ever see her the same way again. She wiped her face. I wasn't ready to hear your side. I just froze. Ava was my best friend, and I thought, if she said it, it had to be true. I nodded slowly. That's the world we live in now. It's fucked up. Yeah, it is. We sat there for a while. Eventually, she said, you don't have to forgive me. I just didn't want to be a stranger anymore. And that felt real. No begging, no excuses, just honesty. All right, I said. We didn't hug, didn't cry together. Just sat side by side with that awkward, shattered kind of closeness that only comes after a war. She left an hour later. I didn't say I love you. She didn't either. But she texted me, thanks for letting me in, before she drove off. I didn't reply. Didn't need to. A few days later, my boss pulled me aside after a faculty meeting. Said, hey, I got a weird email from someone asking about you. My stomach dropped. Anonymous name, no return address, he said. They were digging, asking about your past. I felt my blood go cold. Do I need to worry? He asked. I shook my head. No, but I appreciate the heads up. Back in my office, I sat for a long time. Could have been anyone. One of Eva's mom's friends. Some internet warrior from my old town. Or someone looking to stir SJT just for fun. Didn't matter. I realized something right then. This doesn't go away. You don't just move on from an accusation. It's like a shadow that trails you forever. Doesn't matter if the truth comes out. People remember the story, not the correction. So yeah, maybe I needed to stop pretending I could outrun it. I made a choice that week. Pulled out the journal I'd started months ago, the one where I scribbled half-baked thoughts and late-night rage, and started cleaning it up. Turning it into something structured. Maybe a book, maybe just a personal reckoning. Not for revenge, not for fame, just to get it out. I wrote every day. No filter. About the night Eva lied. The interrogation room. My daughter's silence. The look on my ex-wife's face when she slammed the door on me. I wrote about the people who bailed, the ones who never came back, and the ones who did too late. It was ugly, raw, but also it was mine. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like I had something back. Control. A few weeks later, Lila visited again. No food this time. We went for a walk, just around the neighborhood. She talked about school, some guy she was dating, how her major was changing again. Normal stuff. It was weird walking next to her feeling like we were almost back to normal, but knowing that gap would always be there. At one point, she said, "You ever gonna tell your side?" "What do you mean?" "Like, publicly. People still talk, still whisper." I shrugged. What would it even do? She looked at me sideways. "I think it would help someone." I stopped walking. "Do you think it would have helped you?" She didn't answer. "Didn't need to. I'm not naive. This isn't some perfect redemption arc. I'm not whole. We're not healed. But we're trying. That's more than I thought we'd ever get. And maybe that's enough."